Hey, what's going on guys? My name's Chris and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about why new investors and even average investors are always doomed to fail when trading on the stock market, especially when using apps like Trading212 or Robinhood, for example. So before we do get into today's video, if you could drop a like, that would mean the world to me. Again, likes on this channel really helps get the channel out there to more people and really helps with that YouTube algorithm. And I'm almost so close to 100 subscribers. So if you have been watching these videos and you haven't subscribed, then do subscribe down below. I mean, I would love to get to 100 subscribers. That would really help me out. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Is the average investor doomed to fail on the stock market using apps like Trading212 and Robinhood? Well, the reason is because they're mobile brokerages. And what I mean by that is normally there's an app associated with using these brokerages. And like Trading212 that I use, for example, it's an app-based product. So for example, I have the app on my phone, and that is where the problem comes from. So what I mean by that is when there's an app on my phone and that app gets notifications, it means that I am more than likely to constantly be checking at the Trading212 app. Now, at the beginning of this channel, and my strategy in my mind is that I'm a long-term investor, that I'm investing my money now, slowly and steadily over a long period of time, so that when I get old and grey and decide to retire, for example, I will have a nice little pot, nice little nest egg of money that I can draw back down from. However, using apps like Trading212 or Robinhood, for example, for you guys over in the US, there is a little bit of a dilemma, because like any social media product or any app on your phone, you're always going to be drawn to check it because it's so easy. And that's one of the amazing things about apps like Trading212 is they're so easy to get hold of and use and access, and so easy to invest your money and check the markets, and it's so accessible. And so that's where the problem lies, in my opinion, because what the problem is that we can check the app so regularly now that we can get those updates literally to the second, instantaneously when we're checking on the app. It means that we're constantly looking at the green days, we're looking at the red days, we're looking as our portfolio goes up, portfolio goes down by every 5 to 10 minutes, and that we can constantly check it. And to add, extra level to that, there's apps like MarketWatch, for example, or there's lots of different websites and stock market content out there that are pushing sort of these headlines about how the stock market is going to crash, how the Dow is down by today, the S&P 500 is down, this news is going to affect the market, the COVID numbers have gone up, and all of this sort of news and fear-mongering becomes this sort of vortex that we get sucked ourselves into. And the reason I'm making this video is because I am exactly doing that right now. And what I mean by that is that I have the app MarketWatch, which essentially is just sort of news retailer that kind of gives you lots of different content about what's going on in the market and news and articles and all that good stuff. So my intention was to have it so I could keep up to date with the news in the market, how sort of the broader market was performing, new companies, and all that kind of good stuff. But what actually has been happening more recently for me personally is I've been getting bombarded with different notifications telling me about how the stock market is going to crash, how the Dow is down, how the S&P 500 is down, and this constant stream of news that kind of makes me think, oh, okay, what if my portfolio is being affected? What if I'm having a bad day on my portfolio? So I go straight to Trading212. I look at my portfolio, okay, it's slightly down, and I think, it's a red day. Okay, well, maybe if I come back in half an hour, it might have picked up, it might have sorted itself out, there's been a correction. I come back half an hour later, it's up a bit. I'm like, brilliant, it's up. And then it's down again, and it's up, and I keep constantly checking it, chasing it for it to be up or even down. And so there's this mindset and there's this sort of vicious cycle that I get myself into, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, where I'm seeing news on YouTube as well, seeing articles, getting notifications from Trading212, getting articles from MarketWatch being pushed to a notification on my phone, and I'm constantly seeing this. So I'm constantly checking the market. And then when I'm seeing that red day, that sort of despair and kind of how it's seeing my portfolio go down, and then obviously that euphoria of when the market's gone up and it's a green and my portfolio's gone back to where it was or even higher. But it's that constant loop and that constant time being in the Trading 2-1 platform, which is where average investors and new investors especially can fail, because being constantly on the app makes you keep being more emotional about what the decisions that you make in your investment journey. So for example, if I invested in Apple or Tesla, even better example, Tesla most recently, straight off that stock split, we plummeted. I think we're down by about 38% on that Tesla stock. And so if you're a Trading 2-1-2 investor and you're able to check that app constantly and you're getting all this stimulus from all these different places, we're in this vicious cycle where we're constantly seeing the Tesla, the battery day, the Tesla stock being pushed down our throats about how it's being down. And it's constantly reminding us to check our own portfolio for our own stocks. And if we're investing in Tesla, to look at the Tesla stock go down and down and down. And that's where we become way more emotional, because now we're sort of being led by our emotion and we're thinking, oh, I need to get out. Oh, it's red. I keep seeing it go down. I keep getting reminded by other places it's going down. And that's where we see people selling off. And when people sell off, as we know, it's a snowball. So one person sells off, another person sells off, and then that adds to the slide and those red days. And so that's where I see a lot of these sort of red days most recently coming from, where people are seeing all these articles, are getting bombarded from different areas through YouTube, through push notifications from MarketWatch, or through the Trading 2-1-2 app or the brokerage that they use, and are constantly checking the markets. So for example, look at all these different notifications that I get constantly from MarketWatch and all different stimulus. And again, if I did a YouTube search right now talking about the stock market crash, here again, there's plenty of videos that are doing that. And so that's just fueling to that fire of all these down days and people selling off. And for a new investor like me, and even average investors, we're only human. And that's human psychology in its heart, that people see the red and they follow other people. They see other people selling off and they follow the crowd. We're like sheep, if we're completely honest. We are in some cases. So that's why we're seeing these kind of down days, and that's why we're seeing a lot of this kind of this sort of negativity and this content around the crash and all this kind of stuff. And that's why me personally, I've been checking the Trading 2-1-2 app so much more recently. So I've even been able to kind of back this up with numbers. So obviously if you've got an iPhone, and I'm sure there's probably something similar on Android, but don't quote me on it, but you can check your screen time and how often you open apps and how long you spend on apps. Now, as a side note, I spend way too much time on my phone. I think I spend like 4 or 5 hours a day, which is quite a lot in my opinion. If you guys use it more, then comment down below how much you use your phone. But even for the Trading 2-1-2 app, which really isn't a social media platform in itself, I mean, all I can really do is look at stocks or watch the market, look at my portfolio. But as you can see on these numbers that I'm going to put on the side here, I'm looking at this app way too much in my opinion. I'm checking this app daily about between 10 and 16 times a day. I think weekly I'm pushing sort of 40 or 50 times a week. And remember at the beginning of the video I said that I'm an average investor looking to invest over a long period of time, and I'm a long-term investor. Does long-term investors need to be checking their app 40 to 50 times a week? No. Realistically, I should be checking that maybe once or twice every 6 months if I'm a long-term investor. And that's where I'm getting drawn in, because Trading 2-1-2 is an app that's so easily accessible on my phone. I can check it constantly, and all this sort of stimulus and all this negativity and all this content that I'm surrounded by is drawing me back into my phone, which is drawing me back into Trading 2-1-2, which is drawing me back into look at my portfolio and look at these negative days, which is making me more emotional and more panic selling and panic buying. And so that's why I think new investors and average investors who are using apps like Trading 2-1-2 and Robinhood are always doomed to fail. Now, let me know guys what you think of this. I think it's a good topic to kind of get your opinions on. How often are you using your app? How often are you using Trading 212 and Robinhood? And kind of how are you making sure that you're not being emotional in the market and that you're not spending hours and hours and hours on end just opening and looking at your portfolio. But that's my thoughts for today, guys. I hope this has helped and maybe sparked a couple of things in your head to think about how often you're using it. But if this video has helped, then please leave a like down below, leave a comment, let me know how often you're using the app. And if you want to see any new content from me and you want me to make a video on any particular topic, then as always, leave a comment down in the description below and I will be sure to make that video. But until next time, guys, I'll speak to you guys later.